If I had to start a side hustle with everything that I know now in the digital marketing space, considering everything that's going on with AI and SEO, Google ads and Facebook ads, here's how I would do it. Now, I'm going to be biased to what works now for me and what's worked for me in the last 15 years. And it's actually a pretty simple strategy that you could search up yourself. It's called rank and rent. And the strategy is actually pretty simple. It's where you build a website and you rank it for a desirable key term, be it tree removal, landscaping, plastic surgery, you name a key term, eyebrow tattoos, home construction, bathroom renovations, you name a key term, and it will bring valuable traffic and potentially valuable leads to somebody. And the idea is you pick up a domain, you rank it, and then from there are lots of avenues of monetization. And it doesn't necessarily involve ranking the website on Google or SEO. This can work with just running a Facebook ad, running a Google ad, or any other way where you can attract leads, audience in a certain space. So it's all about finding a niche, and ideally a niche that you're comfortable spending a lot of time researching, or you're already an authority in the space. And I'll run through a couple of scenarios which are sensible, and attracting leads. From there, the leads can be sold individually per lead. They could be rented. The site could be completely flipped. Or what I currently do now is those leads are simply thrown in for free to my current monthly marketing campaigns, where my goal is to bring in leads to whatever the industry that I'm targeting. Now, I personally fell into this form of marketing by accident. I was reluctant to take people's money when they approached me to do their SEO and build their website and rank their website. That was more than 15 years ago. And so what I did, I picked up domains in those industries: plumbing, electrical, legal, medical, NDIS, you name a key term, and I still actively have 800 plus domains in that space. In fact, each week I still pick up domains in that space because I see this strategy still working and supporting my client campaigns. So what I did is, instead of taking somebody's money and figuring it out on their website and potentially their livelihood, I would pick up a domain, let's say it's tree removal, bathroom renovations, Melbourne or Sydney. I would build it out as if it's a genuine, real website, real brand, and I would progress it through the ranks. Now, I didn't build one website, I'd built 10, 15 websites in a whole bunch of different spaces. So I could see what sites went up, what sites went down, and I had data on what worked. A lot of sites, most sites, didn't progress at all. But that's how I was able to actually dip my own nuts into the game, ranked my own websites before I would start implementing it on client campaigns. And every site that I built and I progressed, I gained confidence, data of what works and what doesn't work. Now, I'm going to talk specifically to the ranking process. I'm not going to talk about ads or Facebook ads or Google ads, even though that is one of the ways that I get leads. If I was to start from scratch again, where would I begin, not knowing anything I know about SEO or how to rank websites? I would figure out, one, how to put together a very basic website. Bonus points if it's WordPress. It's 2025 and I still think that WordPress is the easiest CMS to rank, one of the hardest to build, so it's definitely a bit of a steep learning curve. I would figure out how to register a Google business. Now, if you register a Google business, let's hypothetically say an arborist in a suburb or suburbs where there are no other arborists or not many arborists, not competitive at all, you'll find that your Google listing, after being registered, after a bit of maturity, can actually pop up on Google pretty quickly, especially if you grab some reviews, if you have mates, cousins, that can get you 5, 10, 15 Google reviews within a few months. And what you'll find is a combination of a very basic website and a Google listing with some reviews will propel you to the top of Google, as long as there aren't any other mature brands there, or as long as there's not much competition. There could be other arborists there, other tree removalists there with poor websites, poor Google listings with no reviews. What that's going to do is just a cost of entry to market. You can outrank them pretty easily. And the beautiful thing about the current day and age is education on everything here is almost zero. You don't need to buy expensive courses, and I've spent more than 100K on lots of SEO courses and masterminds and conferences. These days you have ChatGPT and AI that can give you pretty much 90% of the truth pretty quickly, with a few questions on how do I register a Google listing? How do I build a website? Anything to do with WordPress. Now there's a lot of one-click page builders out there, Wix and Weebly and Squarespace, and I've been ranting about them for a while. The easier they are to build, a lot of the time the harder they are to customize for SEO. Now, if someone comes to me with a business card type site that they require, designer site, a lot of the time I don't take them on. But if I do, while I still don't use Wix or Weebly or Squarespace or any of those page builders, they're definitely relevant and you can still use them. I'm just biased to WordPress because it's easiest for me and my set of tools and my hundreds of custom-made templates that I built from the ground up myself and all sorts of workflows. But the theory of this is pick a domain, pick an industry, pick a space, build out a basic website, register a Google listing, and start working on some monthly SEO tasks. They might be to be mentioned by other websites and directory listicles and citations at minimum cost. It might be create useful guide-like blogs that are unique and have a unique perspective. It might be work on expanding your service pages and service offerings. So in other words, you're taking action like a real genuine brand. And even though this is the purpose of this is to sell the leads or rent the traffic or do lead gen and whatnot, you're treating this like a genuine tree removal or whatever the industry brand is. And as someone that now has 800 plus of these domains, I use them for a mixture of reasons. One, I use them for backlinks. Backlinks are some of the most expensive and most important aspects of an SEO campaign. I use them for, well, directory listicles, where I build top 10 this and top 10 that in all major cities. And what's really funny is that even though I've been building these directory listicles for over 10 years, in the last the last year when AI and ChatGPT began to use its Google and Bing search functionality, it's basically looking at my listicles and taking them as gospel and ignoring everything else. So if I've got 20 websites that mention that this arborist is the best in Melbourne or Sydney, ChatGPT just nods and places them at the top. Now that tactic will disappear, and it's not a tactic that I did on purpose, it's just how it worked out. I'm definitely utilizing it as much as possible, but that's just another benefit that comes from owning websites in specific industries, is you get to push either link juice, eyeballs, you get to push competitors down the page, and then obviously the most valuable thing that can come from these rank and rent websites are meaningful, genuine leads. Now, a lead from a site like this will be quite basic. There's not much of a brand that a lot of the time goes on. Most of the time there's no social media profiles or an aged account or anything like that. So these rank and rent properties, let's just say it's harder than ever before because you have so many competitor sites, especially if you're doing this in a dense area of a populated city. But you can definitely, like Australia is a big country, you can definitely pick a low population area or low density of that industry, whether it's electrical, whether it's plumbing, they're two of the hardest. Locksmiths, pest control, anything to do with home renovations, remodeling, bathrooms, kitchens. You pick a keyword and there is just thousands and thousands of search volumes there. So in theory, you're niching down on an industry that hopefully you're already an authority on. You're picking up a Google business listing. You're registering it to potentially your home address with your address shown. As scary as that might sound, that's what will propel you to the top of Google faster. If there are no competitors there, you will pop up to the top in a few months with a few reviews. Then you have a website that displays all of the common services. Now, you have AI now to just load 5 of the top websites in that industry. You go look at any of the gyms franchises websites. While their websites are quite average, they've properly covered all of the pages that you should have if you're doing a lawn mowing website, a gardening website, or any other industry. So it's easy to understand what pages you should build. Heck, AI will even rewrite the text. You just don't want to grab the content straight from ChatGPT. You want to put it through a bit of a human rewrite filter. Put some brand elements, create like a persona of a journey, and look, we're going a bit deep here, but essentially you build 10 of these sites in 10 different industries, you let them marinate, and you watch what happens in 3, 5, 6 months, a year. Even if you just leave them alone and don't do anything with them, you will find that eventually you'll get an inquiry, you'll get a phone call. That's if you don't do anything with them. If you begin monthly SEO, monthly tasks, backlinks, expansion of blogs, supporting content, being mentioned, social accounts grown, delivering value via Reels, you'll get results quicker. And then once the results come, there's the opportunity of monetization is actually quite endless. You can flip the whole website. Depending on the quality and quantity of leads, we'll calculate how much it costs. You can sell links from that site because this will be a niche relevant site. Let's say it's in tree removal. As someone that has lots of tree removal campaigns, I'm buying backlinks at $200 to $300 to $400 US per link. So this purpose of this website could literally just be selling links and mentions to other arborist websites. There's so many forms of monetization that are available from this. So in simple terms, rank and rent still definitely works in 2025.